Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something genuinely fascinating. We're diving deep into the psychological profile of the positivity theme. You can kind of think of this as your complete dossier on what makes these natural energizers tick. If you've ever wondered why some people can walk into a room and just instantly lift the mood, or maybe why that exact same relentless optimism can sometimes cause a little bit of friction, well, you're in exactly the right place. Using the SwitchOn Strengths framework, we're going to look at how this specific behavioral trait actually plays out in the real world. We aren't just looking at surface-level cheerfulness here. We're going to uncover both its incredible superpowers, the things that make this trait so absolutely vital to a healthy team, and its unintended kryptonite. So here's a quick look at our agenda. We'll start by defining the positivity theme, look at its value, and figure out what it needs to thrive. Then we'll explore its peaks in the balcony, its pitfalls down in the basement, and common blind spots. And finally, we'll contrast it with other traits to see how it interacts with completely different working styles. All right, Section 1. Defining the positivity theme as the ultimate energizer. Let's get a foundational understanding of what it actually means to lead with this theme day to day. You know the old saying, right? The glass is half full, not half empty. It's a classic, but it brilliantly hits the nail on the head when it comes to the core identity of this trait. People with this theme don't just happen to see the good. They're actively wired to focus on hope, on opportunity, and on the brighter side of literally any situation they come across. Formally speaking, positivity is a trait characterized by naturally bringing energy, enthusiasm, and hope into environments and relationships. Think about your team for a second. The person with strong positivity talents naturally falls right into the role of the encourager. They're the ones lifting morale, celebrating the wins, and helping everyone else feel emotionally lighter through their completely contagious spirit. Moving on to Section 2, the value of positivity, or how we build the engine. We know what this trait looks like, but what tangible outputs does it bring to an ecosystem, and what fuel does it need? When you look at their key contributions, a very clear pattern emerges. Positivity isn't just about smiling for the sake of it. It provides highly valuable, tangible outputs. We're talking about injecting real resilience during difficult moments, encouraging and uplifting others, celebrating milestones that might otherwise just get ignored, and fundamentally creating an atmosphere where people feel genuinely motivated to do their best work. But here's the flip side. To produce that contagious energy, they need very specific fuel. People with the positivity theme absolutely require human interaction and connection. They need the freedom to openly express their joy and enthusiasm without being told to quiet down, and they need a positive environment that actually gives them opportunities to encourage others and celebrate growth. Without that, they just can't thrive. This brings us to Section 3, the balcony, which is all about strengths in action. Let's see what this looks like at its absolute best. Up here on the balcony, people with positivity are truly emotionally life-giving. Notice that point about helping others feel emotionally safe? That is huge. At their absolute best, they literally create safe, encouraging spaces where team members feel supported, hopeful, and excited to keep pushing forward. They are the ones creating real excitement and momentum for the group. Okay, let me ask you something. I want you to pause and ask yourself seriously, is it possible that relentless optimism can actually backfire in a team environment? Can bringing too much joy and hope actually become a problem? Well, yes, absolutely. And that leads us to Section 4, the basement and common blind spots. If the balcony is this trait at its best, the basement is the unintended dark side. When we slow down and really look at these struggles, it's obvious how a strength can become a weakness. When overused, positivity can become overwhelming or emotionally dismissive. They might be seen as just too much, totally overpowering the quieter personalities in the room. By constantly looking for the bright side, they might end up avoiding painful, necessary realities. And to others, this can suddenly come across as naive or completely insincere. What's really fascinating here is that final blind spot. Because these folks naturally focus on encouragement, they often overlook the importance of fully processing pain or frustration. Their pure desire to uplift can morph into a harmful blind spot, like trying to rush in and fix negative emotions before a person has even had a chance to feel hurt. It's a classic case of good intentions creating a negative impact. All right, on to our final section, contrasting positivity with others. To master our understanding of this trait, we have to see how it rubs up against opposing working styles. Let's look at this first contrast. When you stack up positivity against an analytical theme, you immediately see a stark difference. Positivity is fundamentally lighthearted. They're motivated by hope and emotional upliftment. The analytical theme? They operate from a serious-minded baseline. You can easily imagine how these two might completely misunderstand each other in a high-stakes meeting if they aren't aware of these underlying differences. Now, look at positivity versus the deliberative theme. This brilliantly illustrates where friction happens on teams. A positivity person operates on the belief that praise can't be overdone, so they hand it out generously to build energy. But someone with the deliberative theme, they believe praise can be overdone, so they use it sparingly, prioritizing caution over emotional upliftment. Imagine a big project launch. The positivity person is throwing a party for surviving phase 1, while the deliberative person is in the corner worrying that celebrating too early is going to make everyone sloppy for phase 2. Neither is wrong, but they are dramatically different. Grasping this entire spectrum of dynamics is absolutely crucial for navigating team ecosystems. From the incredible life-giving energy of the balcony all the way to the natural friction of contrasting themes. Understanding this holistic picture is exactly how we optimize our teams and our communication. It lets us utilize the energizers without letting them accidentally steamroll the serious-minded folks. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. In your own teams, your workplaces, and your relationships, how do you successfully balance the beautiful, necessary gift of encouragement with the equally necessary reality of caution? It is a delicate balance for sure, but mastering it, that's a real game changer. Thanks for exploring the positivity theme with me today, and keep learning.